previous video, we looked at how you could create a multiple choice test and the settings that are associated with it. In this video, we will be looking at creating the questions and the different question types. At the top, you can give it a name. And then just like building your course itself, you have the plus button here where you can add the types of questions. I'm going to start from the bottom because these are often the ones you'd go to first. You can add text, which allows you to add some content. So this is not a question itself, this is just some instructions. Since this is the typical rich text editor, you can add attachments, you can embed media files and images, so you can add content that you are then going to test them on. You could also add a local file or file from cloud storage if you wanted an attachment at the start of the quiz. At the top, we have Add Question Pool. A question pool allows you to group a bunch of questions together and display a random number of them to your students. So if I click Add Question Pool, I have existing questions here. You do have to have existing questions ready, so these might be ones that you've created in a different quiz. And you can select multiple questions and click Add Questions, and you can say right now it's going to show 3 out of the 3 questions, but if you wanted to say 1 out of the 3, that means that every student that takes this quiz will see 1 out of these 3 questions and it will be selected at random. So this is a useful way of customizing the quiz so that different students have different questions whenever they take it. The calculated formula question is a little bit of a complicated one, but it's very helpful for anybody that is dealing with maths or with different formulas. So I'm going to show you an example here. This is a very simple example. You can do much more complex ones, but the idea with the calculated question type is that you are giving a question that has a mathematical calculation as part of it, but you don't want every student to see precisely the same calculation. So you are setting up the formula and it will create different sets of numbers according to that formula. So here we have a simple question: 100 grams of beeswax cream requires 20 grams of beeswax. If you were required to make X grams of beeswax cream, how much beeswax would be required? So this is the variable here that is going to be filled in by the system when they take the quiz. So down here, you need to enter the formula. And in this case, it is X divided by 5 in order to get the correct answer. And then you have an option there to display the formula to students. Normally you wouldn't want to, but if it's a particularly complex one, that might be helpful. You then click Next, and you have different options here in terms of numbers of decimal places and rounding, and whether you want to allow full credit within a particular range or precise answer. So here we have X defined. That was only one variable, but I could have done a much more complex question with multiple variables in, which can be any letter you like, and then those would be displayed here. So I want X to be between 20 and 80, 0 decimal points. And how many answer sets do you want it to create? 10 is the default here. I'm happy with 10, so I'm going to click Next. And now it generates for me the different answer sets. So if I want to change any of these, I can do that. And you'll see when I refresh that gives a new answer. So you can check that you're happy with those. Here the question would be, for 60 grams of beeswax cream, how much beeswax would you need? And the answer would be 12. Click Save, and that is a calculated question created. The next question type in the list is an essay type question. I'm not going to show you that one because it's quite self-explanatory. Now we have the fill in the blank question. There's an example here of what the fill in the blank question is like. So we will follow the example here. So one of the primary colors is red, blue, yellow, and they're going to have to type in one of those colors. You have different options here, whether you want it to be an exact match, containing a match and matching a pattern, and also case sensitive, which normally is best to leave off. I'm going to click Save there. So here, as long as they enter one of these 3 colors, it will be correct. The next question is a matching question. This is where you have a list of matching pairs and the students need to match them up. So I'll show you an example here. So here I have set up 4 matching pairs. On the left you have a technology platform, and the right you have types of technology platforms, and the user has to match them up. Now, an easy thing to miss here, as you can see at the moment, I can't save. And that's because up here is actually the question text, and it's a bit invisible there, but you have to click there in order to enter the question text. As you can see here, I have 4 prompts and 4 answers, but you could add an additional answer as a distractor. This just adds slightly more challenge to the activity. You have options here to allow partial credit, all or nothing, or to subtract points for incorrect matches, or to allow a negative score. The next question type we'll look at is multiple choice. This is one that you'll be very familiar with, where you have a question and then you have a number of possibly correct answers. 4 are given by default, but you can remove options if you want less than 4, or you can add options if you want more than 4. This question type allows you to have multiple correct answers if you want a tick box type exercise, or a single correct answer, which is the one that we want for here. The next question type is exactly the same as multiple choice, except that it is simply true or false type question. And then reusing questions allows you to reuse questions that yourself or a colleague has used in this course or another course. You will notice that next to each question has a number of points that is assigned to the question. This can be changed as per your requirements. And that is a quiz now created. Of course, it's currently hidden from students, so before you launch that, you will need to make it visible to students, and then they will be able to take it.